I'm discovering I really like Argentinian women. The way they think and process. I mean, they're a little different. They're very different than Colombians, but they're awesome too, and different, and both in good ways.
Well, let's just start with that before we get into your content. And I really want to, for me too, because like I said, there's so many possibilities laid out before me. I want to effortlessly fly into whatever is just meant to happen in that sense. So I'm looking forward to your teaching. But, guys, I want to, I guess let me do a formal introduction, then we'll have some conversation here. And brothers of the tribe, I want to thank you for showing up and coming out to this. This is going to be really an epic conversation tonight with my dear friend, Brian Bajan. And you understand, not only is Brian one of the leading men's coaches really in the world, he's really refined his message to what matters the most. He's been coaching guys on energetic embodiment, teaching them how to get grounded, how to connect in a deep way with women so it becomes they're drawn back to him. Oh, hang on a second. I got that is interesting. I got a new light. It turned on disco mode. But Brian and I have just crossed lives so many times, and our love for each other has been deep. We've couch surfed with him in how many places now? Los Angeles and Idaho and all over the world.
You came to Idaho, or was it Montana?
Montana, Bozeman. And
my sister lives in Idaho, so I was like, "Did you come visit my sister?" I was like,
"No," and I wanted to that one time, and you were just only there for a short time, but
yeah.
It's just been a great friendship, and I'm really proud of you and your success. And he's been proud of me, and he's happy for me. I've got love, and we just keep track of each other and all these different things, sharing life adventures. I hope for you guys in your lifetime, you find, at least one good friend like this who just likes to share the journey, and it's an effortless connection that's deep and meaningful. And so I can't introduce anybody else in the world like I can Brian, but it's real. And men need this. You got to have at least one in the world. And Brian is that for me. And right now he's online in Medellin, Colombia, and he's got a lot of great things to share. So before we get into the meat of your stuff, I want to go down this conversation a little bit, because you started off saying you're in Medellin, you've dated women from all parts of Latin America, Mexico, Colombia, different countries there. You've dated Ukrainian women, Romanian while you're in Bucharest. Tell me a little bit about the different flavor that you had with each one, the pros and cons that, in your opinion, from these different cultures.
Well, the Romanians tended to be a little more Eastern European-esque on the surface, that gruff surface exterior, but they can be very loving underneath and very sweet and that's all Romanians, not just women. And you can walk up to them and they can be, yeah, whatever. And then once they get to know you, you go into your favorite restaurant and now you're their best friend. Oh, I love you. Oh, how are you going? They come to my house. And I really love that about the Romanians, that when they let you in, they really let you in. They're also very, communal. All these cultures, that they love family, they love community, and in their own way. But Romanians and Ukrainians are very different in a lot of ways too. Romanians tend to speak more English right out the gate. They learn English. They tend to have higher, more advanced degrees. The women do like to work in Romania, probably a little bit more than say the Ukrainians would. But they also really want the man to be the man, and they respect masculinity, and they like that the Ukrainians would. So they don't mind being part of the income of the household. Ukrainians tend to be even more of that traditional trad wife. I want you to be the man. They don't speak as much English. And so there's that language barrier. But they're hyper feminine, hyper feeling. Both cultures are to some degree, but I would say Ukraine even a hair more so. So, and I love that about them. I love when I went on a first date with one, and she wanted to do a walk at the park, and we will start there and we will feel each other. And it was really cool the way, because she was very sweet and very loving, and that was her Ukrainian. And some of my best friends are Romanians too, and lifelong friends. I just love them to death. Now, if you come over to Latin America, and you go out with the moment I got to Latin America, like not Latin America in general, Colombia, and I got off the plane and I walked around it in Envigado and I went up to exchange money. This woman looks at me and I swear to God, it was like, is she hitting on me? And she's just leaning and the energy and the flow between us and this lean in and this. So I went back to get more money and it was still there. It was a solid. And, I was like talking to her. She has a husband, but there was just this energetic lean in. So I called my friend who lives in Colombia. And this is a while back, years ago. I said, hey, what's the deal with this? And he says, oh, that's the way they are. They really connect fast here. They really connect fast. And I started to notice that the more I met Colombians, the more I could you just talk to them and there was this instant banter, this instant flow. They tend to
That's
be more
really true.
flaky though.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, let me, if I can, I got two quick stories I got to share to support what you're saying. One time I was flying in to Medellin, and the flight, because of a storm, we got redirected to Bogota. And it really sucked for me because at that time you're gonna be in the airport for 11 hours until the morning flight. It doesn't even make sense to go get a hotel, right? You're gonna sit there. And God bless it, this lady next to me, and she was probably even at least a little older than me, a very elegant woman, but and she had enough English. I ended up telling her, I said, and she says, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "It's okay. I've traveled the world. I've had to sleep in airports before." And she says, "Come over to my house. My driver will pick us up. I'll give you a place to stay. I'll make sure you're back on time." And it was the energy was so accepting. I felt
Mhm.
trust. I just relaxed into her and just believed her and felt this trust. And so went back to her house, and her place was on the ambassador's row. So she had this nice apartment across from the where the embassies are, and she had her own driver. And so I'm like, I just like, me, Brian. I just like adventures. I don't care what comes out of this. This is gonna be a story. It's cool. Came home, she'd called ahead to her daughter who prepared a meal for us. We were up till 2 in the morning, having
Yeah.
food, having the greatest time. I slept for 4 or 5 hours in a separate guest room they had set up for me, and she had her driver ready to take me back. And I was blown away.
That's
How
very
could she
Colombian.
trust me after just a flight, right? And I find that that's true in that culture. They love life. They're very open and warm, and I got a good story out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly a Colombian. Last night there was a Colombian guy. I was
Mhm,
walking down these I was kind of lost in this mall trying to find my way out and I was going down. I
mhm,
was trying to find just the right exit that would put me close to the building I'm living in. And I
mhm,
was going down this walkway and he passes me, but then two flights up starts yelling down at me. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And because he was yelling in Spanish. So I told him my Spanish was weak. But what it turned out was after he got two flights up, he thought, this guy's lost. And he came back to he's like, hey, where are you going? And he wanted to walk. He literally walked me through the mall to the exact exit and didn't want to leave my
mhm,
side, even though we had broken English. And he was just like checking on me. And there's this loving, caring energy here. It contrasts the bad element. I will admit, I haven't met it. I haven't seen it, but I know in Medellin there's this bad element. People that will drug you and stuff. And in my opinion, that's easy to avoid. You people that tend to run in the wrong crowds tend to get struck by that. But it contrasts it. That the bulk of the culture is it has a lot of open heartedness. It's an open
mhm.
hearted culture. And I
Yeah,
love that about them. Now, they
yeah.
do run on island time, even though it's not an island. They're like, let's see you tomorrow at 8. And that means maybe. That's a
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
And it's nothing
maybe,
personal.
right.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's true, and whereas Ukrainians are, if they say noon, it's 5 minutes before,
Mhm.
because being late is almost like cultural, faux
Yeah.
pas for them.
And I'm discovering that more about the Ukrainians, not the
Uh,
Ukrainians, the Argentinians. When I run
yeah,
into an Argentinian, they're
interesting.
a little more business, a little more structured. I got a little business here. I got this going
Mhm.
on. We're going to be here at this time. And I'm like, oh, and you can almost feel the difference
Yeah.
when you talk to them.
It's a delight for me when I've been now in this deeper courtship with Lana, and I'm glad you get to meet her, in a few
Yeah. Yeah.
weeks,
Oh, yeah.
and,
So am I.
it's been this resting into each other. But in the early, there's always a little bit of a testing, and we tested both ways. Like she was wanting to take it slow and start as friends, this kind of thing. And I say, I have enough friends. I'm sorry. And she goes, yeah, I do too.
Mhm. I've said that to women who back in the day when they try to put me in the friend zone or when I was
Yeah,
learning.
yeah, yeah.
She'd say, "Well, I just want to be friends." And I'd say, I don't need another friend." And they would be
I
like,
have plenty
"What?"
of friends.
And I'd be like,
Yeah,
"Look, I'm dating right now. I don't have
yeah,
time. to like if I go out with you, that's the time I could be on a date. As a friend, that's the time I could be on a date. So if you're
Yeah.
going to go out with, and I would just say this, you can say no to that. I'm going to ask you out
Mhm.
again, and I'm going to hit on you. Don't think
Mhm.
I'm going to treat you like a friend. And if you go out with me again, you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so and then I'd say, but I'm not going to ask you to make a decision. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it often worked. Like it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They're very direct, and you have permission to be direct back too.
Yeah.
And,
I don't think I
this is
said I'm going to hit on
delightful.
you. I said I'm not going to treat you as a friend. If we go out again, I'm
Yeah.
not going to treat you as
Yeah.
a friend. And if you don't like that, you can make a new decision.
It's fine.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
I never put the pressure on them to make a decision right there.
Mhm.
Never did that. That was really cool, and it worked well.
It's beautiful. All right. Well, let's kick this off. I want to get into your content tonight. Make sure we have time for everything. And again, another shout out. Thanks to all the brothers for showing up for the live call. It means a lot to me. Appreciate all of you guys. And we have so many great things coming ahead for all the Dream Connections brothers. And I'm really happy to shoot it off with start off with this webinar. So, Brian, share with us a little bit about. It's interesting because I've known you for a long time, and there's been a shift in what you've done for guys for dating, which was always energy based, you know,
Yeah.
and but you've shifted into realizing now that the that energy applies to so many other areas of life. So dive
Yes.
into Forward Fast to us today. What's the core of your teaching now?
Well, embodiment and what I call energetic embodiment. I'm gonna actually
Hmm.
move this screen. I have two screens here. I'm moving them around.
Okay.
I'm going to move this one over here so I can see your faces. I prefer to talk to people rather than to a blank
Oh,
screen.
sure. I
I got
spotlighted
some.
ours, but yeah,
I
maybe
have
if you've got
multiple
two
screens
screens,
running, and I just got to move things around because I have my chat. I
all
have a
right.
chat GPT up over here. I have notes over there. I have all kinds of things going on. I'm always processing information. Uh, I originally started out learning techniques, and then I burned out, and I actually got very sick, and I had to start over. And I took a year off to heal my body because I got so sick from pushing, efforting, forcing. And I was a super heady guy. I thought everything went through my head. Everything was a calculation. Everything was a number. I want to study how a natural was with a woman and learn to be like him. But everything was so compartmentalized in my head. I wasn't being a natural. I was being a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually I learned embodiment from my teacher, Carl. He
Hmm.
got really into I said, why does nothing work for me? I read all these personal growth books and do all this stuff. And he says, because you do it all from your head. He just straight up told me, he said, look, you're so in your head, you're above your head. You're so disconnected from your
Wow.
body. You wouldn't know what love felt like. You don't even know what love actually feels like. You don't know what passion feels like, turn on feels like. You are operating from a concept of passion, a concept of gratitude. Like if I did a gratitude journal and I tried to, I was logically being grateful for things I thought I should be grateful for, not things I actually felt. I didn't understand what feeling was. So he
Mm.
spent 4 years teaching me to feel. It's a
Wow.
painful process because there's a reason I didn't want to feel. Because the feelings of my body were pain from my childhood, suffering from my childhood. As I had a narcissistic mother, bipolar, a sociopathic stepfather. Everything was abuse and yelling and screaming. I wanted nothing to do with emotions. But
Mm.
what is dating but emotion, feeling,
Yeah.
the flow of emotion? It's your animal is part of sex. Your heart is part of love. And when I cut both of those off, and I was trying to satisfy the animal intellectually and the heart intellectually, women weren't having it. Like, why the fuck do I want to hang out with a computer? She might as well hang out with ChatGPT and marry him like some of the other women are doing. At least he'll say exactly what she wants him to say.
Uh-huh.
Back then we didn't have ChatGPT, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And so he says real romance and feeling and connection it comes from it creates something called feeling. He called it being in feeling. When you're in
Mhm.
feeling, you become very attractive to people. People want to listen. They want to talk to you. They want to flow with you. They want to dance with you. It's not logic. And to
Mhm.
present this point and bring it home, have you ever tried to use logically seduce a woman? Think about it. The whole concept is ridiculous, isn't it? I'm going to logically explain to you why you should take your panties off and fuck me. And the whole idea of that is ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
this is why naturals, athletes, artists get the girl, because they're not using logic. They're using feeling. They're using emotion. They're dropping in with her. They're challenging her. And when she gets mad, they don't try to come back with logical answers to why she's mad. They dance with her emotions. They don't come back with logic because that just infuriates her, right? And once I started to see all that, I started to realize that it's about flow of energy between us, which is just emotion. Like if we distill energy, the idea of in a vibration, it distills down to an emotion, like love, compassion, turn on, and you can feel when you connect to another human being. It's called entrainment in science, or resonance in science. And if we want to use metaphysics, we could say where our auras are connecting or something like that. Quantum physics might say your toroidal fields are interacting. And when that happens, you actually begin to feel what's in her heart, and she loves it. She knows when you're feeling into her heart, and I can demo that. She can feel you feeling her sadness, her joy, her love, and being present with it because your heart, because she can feel your heart. And when she can feel yours, for example, if I was to look at Kevin and let him into my heart, and then suddenly I could feel Kevin's emotions. And then he can feel mine. That's the exchange. That's the deal. If I'm going to feel your emotions, you're going to be able to feel mine. You're going to feel my sadness. And then that changes listening. Suddenly she's talking about something over here, but she mentions something over there briefly, and you feel the weight of that. It's on her mind. You're, wait a minute, come back. Like Zan used to do, stop, stop, stop. I got to interrupt you, but I want to know more about that, because he heard that emotional inflection and felt it through his body. And suddenly it pulls you, and she's like, "Whoa, that's nothing." And you can feel that nothing is her, like, scared. And you open that a little bit. No, just tell me a little bit. And boom. Oh, I feel so connected to you. I feel so safe with you, because you give her a safe space to open up by feeling her. That's being and feeling. And that's the power of getting out of your head. And it goes deeper than that. It goes into your masculine definitiveness. That's another layer of feeling, not just your heart. That's where you're definitive, you're powerful, you're focused, and she loves feeling. That's dropping into your stomach, which in science we call the second brain, the gut brain, the instinctual brain. You can look it up online. When you're feeling your instinctual brain and operating from there, which I couldn't feel that before. I had so many gut issues, guys. I don't know if any of you ever get gut issues, but I was a mess down there. SIBO and intestinal issues and irritable bowel syndrome. That's because I'd stored up so much emotion there and refused to feel that part of my body. That's where anger gets stored. That's where resentment gets stored. And I had to go through all of that. At one point, I got so bad. I was super sick. I was to the point where I was so inflamed down there. I was sleeping all day and I couldn't operate. I couldn't eat any food. It was really bad. I got down super skinny, and was just storing up trauma. And I had to learn to process those emotions and literally digest them. That's the metaphor. Digest them, right? And instead of holding them in my stomach like this, and and then what happens when you digest them with the stomach is the stomach, the second brain, turns on when it's no longer resisting all that emotion, and it starts to give you instinctual hits. Your heart gives you emotional hits. You feel this warm fuzzy, and she's feeling this, and then your stomach goes, say this, do this, go here. It's definitive. The stomach is always definitive. And when you're in tune with the stomach and it says, say this to her now, fucking do it, dude. It's going to work. It's going to have a powerful effect. But if you're out of tune with your stomach and you think you're hearing some intuition, it's probably not going to work. It's probably going to do the opposite, right? And I'll give you an example. I had a client, he was, and I've had a lot of married clients. I get them like crazy now. Guys that want to improve their relationships or deepen their relationships. I found that was an unintended side effect. Was this worked amazing on relationships. So I had this client, and I took him to the mall. I was teaching him how to approach women, but be present, feel them with the heart, feel them with the stomach, say hi to them. And he said, I was sitting there at the mall in Third Street Promenade, Santa Monica, and I see this girl, two girls. And the first thing that I'm walking over, and my mind is saying, my body is saying, is I'm feeling them, letting them in and feeling them. Say you have the best resting bitch face I've seen all day. And I don't know why. I just wanted to say that. And he said, so I said it. She laughed her ass off. She thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. They ended up hanging out all day, him and the two girls at Barney's Beanery. They went back to her place. They almost had a threesome. Now, I don't really do dating coaching. I do it, but I do it more for relationships now. But back then, it was just amazing to see that happen. You know, he was like he was operating on trusting his gut because he could feel his gut, right? And and that makes you feel powerful and definitive, like the orchestra leader. You're just leading everything along. And then there's a couple other parts to it, and I can go into that. But your ability to feel your turn on in your hips, that's your creative energy. That's your ability to make a baby. And when you feel that, that's where passion comes from. Compassion's from the heart, passion's from the hips. When your hips are warm and fuzzy and you let her in and you let her feel your turn on, but you're not ashamed of it, you don't apologize for it, you're not guilty, that can give her permission to feel her turn on. And suddenly she's turned on with you. Most guys are waiting, nice guys are waiting for the girl to get turned on before they get turned on. Good luck with that. Bad boys get turned on first. The women challenge the turn on sometimes, poke at it, and then you stay solid in it and they love it. Even your wife will do that. Your girlfriend will do that. She'll, oh, you're so naughty. Yes, I am. Oh, God, that's all you think about. Well, you're the reason for that. Look at you. Oh, fuck you. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Or she probably wouldn't say fuck you, but she might. Some girls do. They play. And then you go, come here, and you kiss her and she falls mad into your arms, right? She loves it. And it's not logic at that point. It's you're dancing like the animal dances. And then there's the grounding, the ability to feel the earth beneath you, because the earth supports you, supplies you food, water, shelter, electrons to get rid of inflammation. It does so many things. All the minerals we need for our body to operate come from the earth. Every ancestor you ever had is buried in that earth. Every memory that's ever been created on this planet throughout history is buried in that earth. That earth is the subconscious mind of humanity. Your connection and your ability to feel that earth, flow with that earth, feel that earth is how safe you feel in the world. And then you reach over and grab her hand while feeling that connection to that earth, that safety, that ability that you are taken care of by the planet physically. And you hold her hand and she just relaxes. I feel so safe with you. And I've got that comment a lot because I worked a lot on grounding because I was so ungrounded. And women love it. And so your ability to feel your body is I look at it as whole body thinking. You're thinking with the body rather than the head now. The head just holds the intention. I want to meet this girl. I want to get to know this girl. And then you let the body do the work. But most of us, including me, I still battle it sometimes. We want to operate from our heads. We want to go up here and think our way through the process. No, let's get out of that thinking and dance, feel, flow our way through the process. You know, this is, and to illustrate this at one level deeper, picture an athlete in a game, football game, soccer game, thinking his way through the game analytically. Again, he's going to be behind everybody else. It has to take over instinctually. It has to be part of who he is. Um, and that's really powerful. And that's interesting. Like Kevin said, while dating my wife, she thought I was strange for taking off my shoes and walking barefoot. But at the same time, you own it and you say, yeah, I love feeling the ground. I love feeling connected. And she still loves it. Strange, but I like this guy. His quirk is some of my favorite stuff. And then you explain why later. And next thing you know, she's doing it because she's tuning herself to you. And then you're both walking barefoot down the beach together in the park together. And she wonders why she didn't do it sooner. You know? And this is what women are craving. They're craving to be let in. They're really craving to be let in. I see you holding something there. What is that? Oh, I guess it's gone now. I don't know if you intended to show us that, Russell, but I saw something there. Yeah, she absolutely correct. Yeah, I have Crohn's disease. Yeah, Crohn's comes from that. Typically, the storage of all those emotions, and then there's tracks that get built up, and you have to tear down the tracks in the original trauma, and then it starts to heal itself. And I've been through this a lot with people and myself. So that's just the basis. I say you have a nervous system. This is all part of your nervous system, but let's stop calling it a nervous system. Let's call it your power system. Because if you get that baby under control, it's a superpower for connection, for flow. And I can do demos on this. We can do guided processes, but I wanted to kind of just give that little brief explanation of, and there's one more energy that I didn't talk about as much, which is your ability to focus with your mind. If you're thinking a lot, your mind goes out of control and it starts thinking and spinning and racing and thinking. But if you got that's the side of the brain. If you got really good control of the prefrontal cortex, in metaphysics, they call it the third eye, whatever you want to call it. Your ability to focus. You take all that energy and you put it into a focus. This is a masculine ability. And you hold an idea in mind. I'm going to create the Empire State Building, something like that. And you don't relinquish it and you stay solid with it and you keep visualizing it and you don't analyze it. You just, it's going to happen. And you start letting your whole system amass the people, amass the support. And pretty soon this idea moves from an idea here through your body, bursts itself through your body, literally through the hips, the energy of turn on for the idea, love for the idea from the heart, power for the idea from the stomach. And then people amass around the idea, and then it turns into physical reality. That's how every movement gets started. You hold this idea in mind so strong that people get super attracted to it because this guy's solid. Why are you wearing shoes on the beach? Because I want to. Barefoot. Why are you wearing barefoot? I mean, walking around barefoot everywhere because I want to, because I like it. And you just own it. Okay, I'll tell you why I'll tell you why if you're seriously interested. Are you seriously interested? If not, I'm just going to keep walking barefoot. Pretty soon she's interested. Pretty soon she's walking barefoot. Pretty soon she's telling other people to walk barefoot. She wants to be weird with you. At first she's challenging it, and then she becomes part of it. Well, that's true with every movement, from small to large, that's ever been created. There's somebody holding that intention. But if you overanalyze it, think about it, try to figure out how to fix it, what could go wrong, you start to distort the image in your mind, and what gets birthed is distorted. So hopefully that was a good basis for understanding how the body works. I know I went through that fast.
No, it is. And I was in my mind thinking, it's interesting. The number one thing that motivates most decisions, obviously you say people buy for emotional decisions, but the leading products are all based on giving energy. You have energy drinks, you have all these different things where people want to live in a state of energy. But to me, it's not just about having energy, because that can be artificially created with a Red Bull, but it's about having this surplus connection to the energy around you. It's the field.
Yes.
Guys have been following me like Law Jackson for over 15 years. It's good to see you, brother. I've always taught that we have this radius around us that we project. And so why not create the energy that makes people relaxed and want to enter into that space with you and make them feel welcomed? And it's an intentional choice. But then you take it a step further to say, I want to project in a way that intentionally invites them in, not just a warm energy, but I desire connection. I want them to feel like there's a draw to bring them deeper in. And it elevates the entire idea of energy to almost a spiritual level, because now you're operating with energy fields that are deeply satisfying and calm and peaceful. And I always tell the guys, you just have this knowing smile about you, And I said, it's almost like if you went to a friend's house, they're watching, somebody recorded the football game. They're watching it in the fourth quarter. They're all stressed out, but you already know how it ends, right? So you just kind of walk in there. You just sort of have this knowing smile. They're all, oh my gosh, sure. Yeah, I know. But it's to bring that calm to everyday life around you is beautiful. And
Yes.
what I want to do is go to the next level with you and your teaching. That's why I'm so excited to be part of your event, because to me, you teach flow.
Yeah.
That you can get into the state where this just happens. I wouldn't say almost effortlessly, but certainly with intention that it comes.
Yeah. Well, think about an athlete that's been doing their sport for years. They don't think about it anymore. They feel it and they get out there and it turns on. Michael Jordan at his best, he's an insane level of athlete, but he just gets on the field and it takes over and it carries him. And that's why he loved it so much. I think it was Kobe Bryant that said when he was in flow, the basketball hoop looked like the ocean. It looked like the ocean to him. He couldn't miss. And it was like throwing a ball into the ocean. And that can be done with any art. music think about an amazing musician gets on stage and they surrender to the playing of the guitar. And I've seen there was a guy I used to watch in Hollywood. I'd go watch him just to play the guitar, and he would just go into a meditative trance, and the whole crowd would be like, as he's this playing with this guitar, playing like Jimi Hendrix used to, and go nuts with it. And we are all designed to do that as men. That's how mating, real mating happens, and relating to your wife. You're not going to do it 24 hours a day per se, unless you're both worked on your enlightenment together, let's say. But you're going to have these moments. Date night, we're working to get in that flow together. That's the whole point of date night, you know. Um, and these moments at the end of work, at the end of a work day, where you just surrender into the bubble of us together, where we flow back and forth, and her feminine feeds my masculine back up and fills up the gas tank, and my masculine fills up her feminine, and then we go back out into the world. And that's what creates lifelong relationships, when you understand those flows of energy. And I've had many clients come to me and say it saved their marriage. They were falling apart. They found my YouTube channel and saved their marriage. And I've even had the women contact me and said, when my husband found your website, I was scared at first because I knew he thought he was going to go find a new woman. But he said our relationship, I've gotten these messages where our relationship's better than ever now. Cool. And thank you. And they'll send me a thank you, heartfelt thank you. And I really love those. Those are amazing. And if you think about men and women, I want to, this is on topic, but off topic, just a hair, is men. Yes, you as men, so many men, this is important because a lot of men feel like they have to do everything. I'm the provider, I have to do everything. It's not actually accurate if you understand these dynamics. You are the provider in the sense that you create the space, you create the container, like a tribe would create a safe space for the village to exist, right? And they clear out that space. No dangerous animals. No, nothing's going to hurt people. Now they can set up the homes, the teepees, the tents, the whatever it is, the shelter close to water. They plan all that out. And then once they've created the space, the feminine amplifies. If you create the space, like a beautiful space for your woman to come in, and give her the freedom and the autonomy, or even give her ideas, she will amplify the shit out of what you give her. She will go to work to make you crazy meals, to make the place beautiful, to make it loving, to inspire you, because you created the space for her to fill it with warmth and love and family. When you get out of the way, so many nice guys try to do everything, even that. They compete with the woman as well as, you see what I mean? Like, oh, let me do that for you, baby. Let me do that. No, she wants to do stuff for you. Give her space to do stuff for you, and sit back and just ground, contain, and let her take care of you at the right times. There are times you take care of her, sure. But you got to understand that dynamic back and forth. And when you have that healthy dynamic and you understand each other's roles and you create the bubble of us in it, you'll be filling each other's gas tanks forever.
Yeah.
You'll make millions more in life by having the right woman, and you will go completely broke and live on the street having the wrong woman.
There's truth in that statement, brother. Scripture backs that up as well in many, many verses. I want to support you, and maybe you can take this. I used to, when we had the live events for Dream Connections, I was always interview the women, and I would ask them always these two basic questions, among others. But I would, say, what kind of man are you looking for? But then I would always ask, how do you see the relationship between a man and woman in a relationship, in a marriage? And this one answered it so beautifully. I've never forgotten. I've retold this hundreds of times, because she says, I really see that the woman's role is to create the warmth of the home, the hospitality, the place where if anyone comes into the home, they feel the warmth and acceptance, where she takes care of and nurtures the family, nurtures the husband. And it's the soft warmth. And the man is the castle walls around it. And I was like, wow. Wow. Nailed it, girl. Out of the park. And so and it's so interesting to me. Like I said, over and over again, I keep referring now to, after I've learned all this stuff, the relationship I have with Lana. She vocally, and she's an intelligent woman, she was an attorney by trade, but she just talks over and over again how she likes it better to settle into the feminine, to just be the support, where she Says I don't need independence anymore was the latest. And you're like, wow, when are you going to hear that from a woman?
More and more
And
women are going that direction. You know, they're
yeah,
starting to wake up to that. That
I
thank
had to
God
explain to her what a trad woman was.
we got to this deal. Yeah.
I want to answer
Yeah.
Law's question. Law put in the chat all this, your discussion about energy. He says, this is new concept to him. So he says, is it the same as vibe? Getting a sense of somebody's vibe. Is that a compatible idea?
Yeah, the energy will create the vibe. Once you master the energy, you'll be creating vibes. You'll be putting those vibes out, and you can even consciously create a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about the connection earlier. When you let a woman in and she flows through your nervous system, most guys are trying to affect
Mm-hmm.
the woman like a car salesman, right? They go to the bar and hey, what's up? Hey, baby, how you doing? Like you look beautiful, and there's this energy going this way at her,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to put up defenses. But because if a car salesman comes at you with that energy, you automatically put up defenses.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually let her in, which is a different energy, you're reversing the polarity of the energy. You create a space, what I call a conduit, like a hose is a conduit. And I open my centers, my body, vulnerability and the vulnerability just means to feel. I don't mean like neediness. And I open my body and I let her in and I feel her with my heart. I feel her with my stomach. She feels that happen. The moment she feels that happen, she's like, oh, I can actually have a real communication with this guy because I can feel his emotions. I can feel his heart. Now, let's say I drop her into my heart. She might feel my love, my compassion. She might feel sadness, but I'm owning it. So it's cool. I let her into my stomach. She'll feel my power. What do I want her to feel? How deep do I want her to feel? I let her into my turn on, my attraction. It doesn't have to be sexual turn. I could be turn on for life, my passion. I let her into my groundedness. Like I'd let her run through my body, and she now gets to dance with my energetic self, my emotional self
Mm-hmm.
in a way. And that's the vibe, these different vibes you can put out. You can do that consciously.
I really believe that if guys can learn this, the woman will get addicted to that
Yes,
because that's
they
what
do.
they're looking for. Guys don't know how to deliver it. But if you can learn this skill, that woman would never leave you because she'll get something she's never going to get another guy to
Yeah.
deliver.
Yeah. And I would agree. I've seen it from client after client after client that they're shocked how addicted these women get and how they lean in.
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching clients online to do this letting in process, and it takes a little
Mm-hmm.
while. The
Mm-hmm.
instinct is not to do it at first. It's scary
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to let them. I'm going to drop my masculine walls and let her see inside me. Fuck that shit, you know.
Right.
And then they're afraid of becoming needy, is what they're afraid of.
Yeah, of
But
course. Of
yeah,
course.
but when they do it, like I've had clients this week doing it, and they're saying it's like we talked for it was like 2 hours, and it just went by like that, and she just leaned in the whole time and said almost demanded we go on a date. Or
Wow.
it took the client a few weeks, about a month or two, to get. Cause I had to put him through all these practices to learn to let people in, starting with his friend the same girl, this cute girl that worked at the pet store. He'd let her in every day,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit more. Oh my God, just want to
Mm-hmm.
shut it down. Oh, a little bit more, and I would do it with them on calls, and we just
Mm-hmm.
kept practicing. And then one day, it just got wider and wider, and he started letting in more people. And then he met this girl at a party, and she locked in with him and wouldn't leave him alone. And then I had another client just the same thing, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
I heard these stories just this last week over and over. But the hardest part is the few weeks, few months it takes to where you can actually let them in, and to that degree by choice. It does
Mm-hmm.
happen to us. That's why we end up married. Sometimes by accident, sometimes a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being able to do that by choice with anybody, like the barista. Like you're not even going to date her,
Yeah.
but you let her in and she feels seen that day. And she's like, I really like this customer. He's real, or him. It could be another dude.
Mm-hmm.
You let your bro in and he's like, I'd go to war for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens.
I love that. And part of it is I taught this before, is like everyone, when they first interact with you, they're asking themselves two questions. What is this guy going to suck the life out of me? And how much of my time is he going to take? and, and when you portray this energy, it's like, no, I'm already good. Then immediately they go, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
He's already good. So I don't have to worry about that. And then when you show an interest of any kind, warmth, like you said, just comment on, something that the barista said, or just, I love how you asked the order. I don't care what it is. It just shows I saw you.
Yeah, it's true. And there's something I do now to open new women. And it's the simplest. It's, years ago, I couldn't see it. I had to be clever, had to be clever, had to say something clever. Just pop her open, right?
Hmm.
And now all I do is open up completely. Like I'm looking at Mark and I open my heart and I feel it in my stomach. Let's say I walk up to the barista and she's working away and she's in her head and she's ready because she's got a lot of shit going on. And she'll go, okay, what can I get your order? And I just wait. And she'll realize that I'm not going to speak until she actually looks at me and takes me in. And then she finally stops and goes, oh, I'm sorry. Can I take your order? And she looks at me and I let her in. And the first thing I say is, how's your day going? And I let her into my heart and I feel her for a second. And she goes, oh, nobody's done that all day. Nobody's forced me to stop and feel with them. If she can feel. And then there's some women that don't want to, but most of them, the healthy ones all do. And she goes, oh, it's going good. Thank you. And then, or she'll say, well, I've been having a rough day because as soon as he says that, it's like, now I'm letting her in. My gut brain's telling me what to say. I can go right into banter, teasing, playing, listening. That response tells me everything I need to know. And the inflections, the emotions, the inferences on how I need to be. Now, that can be done with your wife on a daily basis. That can be done with your girlfriend. That can be done with coworkers. That can be done with your sales. Like first, before we start this sales call, how's your day going? And you just feel the person. Where are they at emotionally? But you have to be able to feel them. If you do that from your head and you analyze them, it won't work. It goes out the window.
Yeah. No,
And,
I appreciate that. And I want to honor these guys' time. We got about 13, 14 more minutes here.
yeah.
The question Kevin brought up, he goes, I get you. I just don't know how. How do you
Yeah.
do this? And maybe
It
that's
is
a lead up
okay.
into Croatia. I don't know, but give us
Well,
something on how.
I did have practices, but we don't have enough time to do all this stuff. I don't mind doing another call with you guys if you want to do some practices. But
Yeah.
the key is it's think of anything athletic or think of anything that's artistic. If you're going to learn to play the guitar, play football, or you don't just jump on the field and start playing in the pro leagues, right? You do drills, you do practices, you learn to dribble the basketball, you learn the basic chords, you learn, and a little bit goes a long way. Within a short bit of period of time with the guitar, you can be strumming it, playing some nice little songs by learning a few chords and putting them together. But you got to do that stuff until it becomes muscle memory. This is not a thinking process. This is a nervous system, power system process where you're developing this muscle memory.
Yeah.
And by doing the practices daily on a regular basis, this starts to happen more and more automatically. First, you learn to feel your body. Then you learn to feel another person through your body. And then they let you in and feel you. Women want to do this more naturally than men. They don't have conscious awareness of it. It's all over the place for them. And for us, we try to intellectualize it, right?
Yeah.
And so by doing those regular practices, you start to develop the ability. So I have tons and tons of practices like that you can do as you develop each ability out. Feeling your legs, feeling the ground beneath you, feeling the flow of energy through the ground, feeling your stomach, getting all the anger out of your stomach, feeling you're opening your heart and feeling the vulnerability. So if I look at do you mind really quick if I got a few minutes?
Yeah, and let's go, guys. You guys mind if we go a little bit over? I want to get some of these. I want to deliver you the goods. If we can get a couple of laws, thumbs up, get some
Law,
practice.
Do you want to come on camera? You're already on camera. Do you want to speak with me really quick?
Is it very close? Pretty.
Is that you, Law? I heard a voice.
No, that was William.
Oh, okay, there he is. I hear him now. Okay, do you mind if I do a little something with you?
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me remove this. I'm going to add Law to the spotlight.
Law's been so brave to be on camera the whole time.
Here we go. I have to add spotlight. There we go.
Oh, shucks. What's up?
Are you okay with this? I want to make sure I get your permission.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's go.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. Let me change the view here of this one screen so I can see you real clearly. There we go. It's a better screen over there. I'm going to slip this one over here. Okay, cool. Much better. Where's my cursor? There it is. Okay. So if I look at you, Law, I'm going to put the camera right over your head so it's kind of aligned. If I look at you right now and watch, I'm going to go. This is going to be, I'm rising up to my head a little bit. I'm going to start speaking to you from up here. So how you doing, Law? It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Now, feel the difference in me saying hi from up here and saying, like if I walked up to you and said, hey, Law, how you been? It's good to see you. And I'm going to drop down a little bit. I'm going to start opening my heart. I'm going to start letting you in a little. what I'm looking for is the law, the most innocent version of law, like beyond all the ego we all develop. And as I let him in and I say, "Hey, Law, how you been, man? It's good to see you. How you been? Do you feel a difference in that?"
We're about to go for a walk.
Yeah, it changes quickly.
Yeah.
Now, if I let you in deeper and I keep opening and I keep offering an open heart to you, and I'm dropping a little into my stomach now, and it's going to get a little more intentional. And now from my stomach and my heart, I'm like, "Hey, Law, how you been, man? It's good to see you." And do you feel that flow between us that starts to happen? What does it feel like?
Feels like we're going to go from having a walk to having a nice lunch to where we can
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
right, where we can really connect and take
Talk about
time.
deep shit. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And does it make you want to lean forward? Now, I'm going to show you something to kind of illustrate the comparison here, but it makes you want to lean forward a bit, right?
Yes.
And like connect in, because we all want to connect with another human being. That's the atonement. Like we're all becoming one again slowly, with our individual natures connected all at the same time. So if I look at you and then I start to go up and up, and I'm going to go up and out of my body, you see me rise up a little, and I'm going to get up here, and I'm like, "Hey, Law, we should go get lunch sometime and hang out. I'd love to get to know you a little better." Do you
Oh
feel
yeah.
a difference? What's the
Yeah.
difference?
You're leaving. It's become like, oh no. I actually, to me, I read it as it's not a commitment now. It's like
Yeah.
we're moving towards each other. Like, hey, let's connect. Let's do this. Now it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I'll put you on the calendar, and we'll, my people will talk to your people, kind of thing.
exactly. And so to facilitate that, I'm actually pulling my consciousness up, my awareness, my ability to feel, and trying to push it all up into my head and out of my body, so that I don't feel as much of my own heart. I don't feel so you can't feel me. You can't feel me have expressions. You can't feel me have emotional expressions. So there's nothing for you to relate to. Now, if I could make it worse, let's say I go into anxiety. I don't know if I can pull this off. It's harder
Mm.
now. But if I get really nervous, you're gonna feel tightening in the jaw. This is why we grind. You're gonna feel tightening in the ear canals, because we don't want to hear our inner thoughts. We don't want to feel. And then I'm going to pull my energy back here typically and try to put it out the back of my head to get away from you. And I'm like, "Hey, Law, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. What have you been up to lately?" And you can feel that suddenly my energy wants to rise. I'm back here. I'm pulled back this way. We should hang out sometime. It'd be really cool to hang out with you. And what does that feel like?
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like when you see somebody at church and you're trying to leave.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you
Like,
like, you want to be courteous to be like, hey, yeah, we should hang out, maybe next week, maybe, yeah,
his energy's out the door, but he's
yeah,
talking
he's
to you.
he's on his way out, or
Yeah.
like when you have a visit with somebody and you can feel the tonal shift of like they're done with the conversation. Like that to me is
Yeah.
is where I can relate to like, oh man, okay, I thought we were
Exactly.
vibing and this person just left the room.
Exactly. And if I did one more, this is the one I hate with guys with women typically, is they get real into a woman and they want to get her. And then
Uh-oh.
they go here into their head. I'm going to figure out the lines to say, who to be, and I'm going to put all the pressure on her. And it's like this. And it's like, "Hi, oh, what's your name? Where are you from? Oh my God, I love your dress. That's really pretty. Hey, we should hang out sometime. And that's when guys are faking being confident. Everything goes, what they do is they turn this way up too high. They put all the emphasis here and they forget about this, all the parts that create connection. For her, if you were the girl and you needed to relate to me and wanted to have a connection with me, you need to be able to feel my heart. What does he feel? What am I feeling inside? You need to be able to feel my stomach. Does he have power inside him? Right now, it's all about you. And I'm putting all this like a fire hose on you and blasting you with my wants and desires to connect with you and get validation from you.
How do you heal from that? Because I feel like a lot of guys, they go from being they're aware that they're too passive and they need to take initiative, but the initiative is too selfish, right? It's not
Yeah.
it doesn't let the other person in. It's like, I need to close, I need to ask, I need to go for it.
Yeah, because that's what everybody teaches. Put all your energy on the other person. The analytical person then puts all their energy literally on the other person, and and they're doused in it, and and then or play aloof, and then you're completely back here playing aloof, and there's nothing for her to connect to. You have to learn what it is to feel.
Mm.
You have to learn what it is to feel. Like I practice and train to feel my face, my heart, and then what is it to feel another person with my heart? And these are called I call them vulnerability walks. Um, where I walk around feeling people. I feel them with my stomach. I feel them with my heart. I feel the ground. I practice feeling the ground beneath me and being grounded because that increases the capacity. The more grounded you are, the deeper your roots, the more you feel safe in your body, the more I can let you in. Because now I'm not worried about, I don't need your emotions to validate me as much, right?
Now
To feel good.
I've heard that with guys, it's a lot easier to do that with guys because there's nothing at stake. But the challenge of like with opposite gender interactions because now
I've
you've
seen
got that.
both.
Oh, really?
I've seen guys that are super dropped in with women and they're like, oh, I feel safe with women. And they get around a guy and they freak out. And I've seen the opposite of that too. There's actually a gigolo I know. He's a former male gigolo. Women fly over the world to come see him. So fucking embodied with women, so vulnerable, so sensitive, so powerful at the same time. Gets around a guy, he's like, he says, I just don't feel comfortable with men. I've
Huh.
always felt safe with women my whole life. So I've made my whole living being a gigolo with women. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
And was that natural or did he learn that?
I don't know where he started it from. I know two gigolos actually. I'll ask the other one, and they both love being around women. I have
You know what I mean?
clients that have developed that ability where they fall in love with women, and the women start chasing them like crazy because
You know what I mean?
they're not loving them from their head; they're loving them from the body, and the women feel that.
My question is because if it's an honest, like natural kind of a path, right? They didn't have to shake anything
Yeah, there
off
are
to.
naturals that develop it naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you could. I also have clients that have developed it just by practicing. Michael Jordan was a terrible basketball player in the beginning.
What?
Became the world's.
Wow.
He was kicked off his high school team. And he got mad, really mad, and he practiced relentlessly to
That's
become Michael
hilarious.
Jordan because he has that issue. Yeah, and so the talent was in him, but he had to bring it out, right?
Gosh.
And so I want you to think of it this way: you're a man. You're built to attract the feminine. You're built to make the feminine feel safe. Every one of you on this call are built to attract women. The question is, why is it not working? You're built to make women feel safe. You're built to make women feel loved, to seen, passionate, turn them on, get them wet. That's your design. So if you're not doing it, there's something between you and that natural design inside of you. That's the embodiment. When you get these pieces, the heart, the stomach, the grounding, the flow of energy through your body, just like practicing all these athletic, then it starts to turn on. There's a lot of exercises I could show you guys to start doing this stuff. I'd be glad to show a few, but I know we're over time, so I don't mind coming back doing another call if that's what we need to do. But I was just showing you that one as a demonstration where I'm letting you in. You do it really quick. Open, just one quick exercise. Everybody do this. Just look at the screen, look at me or Law, or look at Mark. And I want you to turn on, look at me, directly at me, and I want you to create tension with me with your eyes. And I want you to, like a camera lens, really focus in on me till you're pushing on me with that. That's it. You feel that pressure right here in your forehead. Okay, now I want you to soften really wide, like turn on your peripheral while looking at me until you feel a little stoned. You got because you're so tuned into your peripheral. And then I want you to go back and forth and calibrate between the two until you can find a sweet spot. And then when you find that sweet spot, open it just a hair wider and then invite my energy towards you till it comes, you feel it almost come in through like a conduit or a guide. And then I want you to go down to the heart and imagine the heart's like a light bulb, a dimmer switch. And I want you to turn on, just like the peripheral of your heart. Turn up and feel the whole room with your heart. And then invite me into it with that conduit. Set the intention. There you go. Feel that little bit of pressure in the heart. And just sit in it. And then go like a layer deeper inside the heart. And ask it that deeper layer, like a second window, to open a little bit. And invite the most innocent, safest version of Brian in there that you can see, like the childhood version, into that heart. And see if you can feel a little, like, rest me in there and feel a little warm, fuzzy response. And how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels safe primarily, right?
Yeah. Do you feel a warmth here? Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Yeah. If I could paint a picture, it feels like when you're sitting on a couch and you kind of move over and you kind of pat the cushion, like,
Mhm.
but it's all happening inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get that warm, fuzzy response, it'll get stronger with time to where you can just let something in, your work, art, a woman, a child, and you feel that warm, fuzzy. That's oxytocin, the chemical oxytocin
Oh.
running.
Oh, wow.
When you go into resistance for the person in front of you, that's the chemical cortisol. And an overabundance of cortisol will cause the whole body to inflame and stress. An overabundance of oxytocin under stress will cause the body to bond and feel tighter and more connected. And the better you are at getting these oxytocin responses, the more you'll chemically get addicted to letting people in, and the more you'll enjoy it. The next step would be to drop me into the stomach and feel me with the stomach. And then feel that because the stomach will change the feeling. It'll go from warm fuzzy. It'll still be warm fuzzy up here, but down here there'll be a certainty or a sense of focus or a power that starts to develop. And then the other person can feel that off of you. They feel, wow, this guy's confident. It's not.
Is everybody's connection getting kind of sketchy here?
Yeah, Brian froze up here.
Oh,
Oh, I lost him. There he
I'm
is.
back. I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Great.
oh,
That's okay. Let me re-add you back in here. There we go.
there's too much
Okay.
power there.
Okay, there you go.
So
I
much
like that.
energy. So much
Okay,
energy.
so hopefully that made sense. But you don't have to think yourself into confidence. You just are confident because that's what's flowing through you. So this is just the taste of what we do, and this is my life's work. This is my whole life's work is about learning to walk through life with less thought and more flow. Because the more you do this, the more you end up in flow, whether business, dating, relationships, and the more life just gives to you. The whole Christian principle that God will take care of if you let him in is right here. Because now I'm literally letting you in. I'm letting energies from above in, God, the Holy Spirit. I'm letting energies from the earth in. And it all can carry me and take care of me. And then you let your woman in. She feels safe. She takes care of you because she's being taken care of by you. And Mark's doing this with his woman now. You know, it's just, you can see how much she loves him, wants to take care of him. And so that's kind of the principle. How much farther do you want me to go?
Well, I've
We're
had
at an
no
hour and a half.
objection from the.
No, we're at an hour.
That's okay.
Oh, we're at an
Yeah,
hour.
just 1 hour. So we got time. The guys all gave me thumbs up, said, yeah, just keep going. Give us, they want the tools. They want,
Okay.
so whatever you want to add, go for it.
Okay. The first step in mastering this is two things: learning to feel the ground beneath you really well and learning to feel your heart. The more you feel the ground beneath you, the more you'll feel your heart. The more you feel your heart, the deeper, the more pleasurable the ground beneath you. They play off of each other. I want you to think of them as the red wire and the black wire in electronics. And or the leaves on the tree can express themselves fully when the roots are deeply rooted. But if you don't have deep roots, the leaves can't express themselves on the tree. And the tree will die. Okay. So I want everybody to just take a moment and ask yourself, actually, like put your feet flat on the floor. If you want to be barefoot for a minute. And just ask yourself, how often do you feel the ground beneath you? The ground is doing two things with grounding. Grounding is a little bit of a misnomer because we always think of energy going down. But there's a more important aspect of energy going up from the earth. Like if a tree roots itself into the ground, it receives nutrients from the earth, right? Well, in science, what do we receive from the earth in spades when we really connect to it? Electrons. Electrons are anti-inflammatory. They energize the body. They charge up the mitochondria. They do so many things inside the body. So your ability to feel that earth beneath you is massively important because it gets the body ready for feeling and expression. So just put your feet flat on the ground and just take a moment. And we're just going to use some ideas that play with our imaginations for a moment. And imagine there's dials in the bottom of your feet. You could just Gently turn them. And as you turn them a little bit at a time, they open a little bit more. And as they open a little bit more, begin to feel down into the earth deeper. You want to get like a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, whatever feels natural. Like it's an inner vision, an inner feeling. And then feel the outside and the back of your legs. And what I do is I grab the ground like this and I just feel. And I'm the ball of my foot, I'm just kind of inviting feeling. And then the outside and the back of your legs, any stress, any tension, just imagine it could go down the outside and the back of the legs. And just like roots, it can give it into the earth. It can just like vibration, it can go through your body into the earth. And just feel that as much as you do. Just notice what that feels like. And then the next thing I want you to do is as you're feeling into that earth as much as you are, and just putting your awareness down there. You're observing the awareness. You're not thinking it, you're observing it. You're asking your body to do it, then you just observe the body's response. And then I want you to invite energy up from the earth, up the inside of your legs. Notice the inside of your legs are more sensitive, they're more vulnerable. If somebody reaches and touches the outside of your leg, it's no big deal, but they reach on the inner thigh, it's a little bit of a big deal. More sensitive, right? That's the feminine of your body. The masculine is the outside. So as you feel that inside of your legs, invite like a straw energy up from the earth, up the inside. And you might feel it come up the inner thigh. You might feel a little turn on. You might feel like in between your legs, everything charges up a little bit like a horseshoe. That's got a charge in between it. Just feel that charge. Now become aware of energy going down the outside and the back of the legs into the earth, giving away all the stress and tension of the day, and the new clean energy coming up the inside. And if it can come all the way up to your groin or your perineum, that's great. If it can turn you on or feel a little warm or fuzzy, that's great. And then go back to that energy on the outside. You just feel it go down, feel it relax you, feel it calm you. That's what it does. That's the masculine. And then the energy on the inside. Feel it excite you, feel it build you up, feel it wake you up, feel it add to your turn on. And just feel that combo of those two. And just notice. Now you can grab the ground with your toes. You might notice the toes give you more energy up the inside of the body as you grab maybe right foot and then left foot. And then you can take and put a little weight on the heels just a bit or the outside of the leg and feel that's more grounding, more masculine. You feel the pressure down the back. If I push my heel down a little or I push on the outside gently, you feel a sense of connection deeper into the earth if you allow it. And then just notice the difference between those two. Now, the next thing I want you to do is become aware of the pelvic floor, the perineum, the taint, the ass, that whole area, and just ask yourself, can I relax right there as much as I am willing without force? And see if that increases even the pelvis in the back, that downward flow. All you're doing right now is developing mental awareness of these little subtle parts of the body. And they get very subtle right down to a pinky toe. Like there's crazy stuff we can do. But right now we're just generally turning things on. Just become really aware of these areas. Now feel that pelvis again, feel that pelvic floor. And this is where men hold a lot of tightness, especially if you're considered anal, you're probably tightening down there. That's literally what that means. And if you relax that area a little bit, you'll feel a downward sinking. And then as you sink more deeply into the earth, like your two legs are a plug, you can invite more energy up again. Good, good. And just notice what that feels like. Relax the pelvis one more time, the back of the pelvis. And just notice what that feels like. And then become a little aware of the front, where the bladder would be, the groin would be. And become aware of the back of the pelvis. And then become aware of the front of the pelvis. And again, notice that masculine feminine dynamic. The back is framing the front so the front can feel. If you rest all of the tension, the structure in the back of the pelvis, the front can turn up. The front can feel more. The front can become more alive like a light bulb. And you can turn it up gently. Just remember that switch I talked about earlier with the heart. Just turn up the front a little bit and see if you can invite more energy up. Maybe you'll feel a little more warmth, more tingle, more alive. And you're just developing the ability to feel low in your body. And trust me, your woman can feel this as you get deeper. They love it. They're feeling through you guys. They're feeling through you. Okay? So the more you feel, the more they feel. You are their grounding force. Just like the back of the pelvis is the grounding force for the front, the outside legs is the grounding force for the inside. Good. Now we're going to jump all the way up to the heart a little bit. And I want you to take the energy that's coming up your legs. And I just want you to invite it as much as it's willing. We're not going to get deep into this right now, up the spine to the heart, the back of the heart. And I just want you to feel the back of the heart a little bit and just rest in it like a painting rests on the wall with the frame. Feel the back of the heart frame the front. You're just turning on awareness here, the observer, and just allow the front to go free. If you put all that masculine frame that's in your back, in the back of your heart, and create a space for the front to open, and you ask the front to open, like I did law earlier, and you turn up that dimmer switch and you begin to feel the whole room through the front of your heart. Notice what that feels like. And just see how warm or fuzzy it can be. Sometimes it's sad. Sometimes there's a little pain in your heart. Sometimes it's heavy. That's just love turning on. I can explain that more later if you want. But feel the whole room with your authentic feeling that's coming from your heart, the space you're in, your brother's on the call. And then feel the back of the heart again. Move your consciousness there and just be aware of that. And then move to the front again and let it open a little bit more. You don't have to hold on, you just touch on it, touch the back, feel that, feel the structure, and then move to the front, open a little wider again. And then feel the whole space around you. Notice what that feels like. Feel your brothers again. And now there's one more thing I want you to do. I want you to go back to the legs and invite the energy up your legs again. Feel into the ground, invite the energy up. Generally, just do that. Don't have to do it perfect. And then see if you can let it roll up your body all the way to your heart. And feel the room around you with your heart. Feel the space around you. Feel the ground. Feel the energy in the ground. And then feel your heart. All you're doing is your masculine is creating a space for this to flow. And your mind is starting to map all this feeling. So this becomes natural and part of you. And then you can get very subtle micro movements in the chest to keep opening it more and more, resting deeper in the back so the arc can express itself. Grabbing the ground with the toes and pulling a little more energy from the earth. Sinking back down in the body and feeling the earth beneath you. Asking the heart to open a little deeper like a window. Just a little like shutters or a window opening like this. And you can even go a layer deeper. Imagine there's a second window and open that. Now I'm kind of putting a lot of pieces together. We can spend a lot of time on one piece. Just teaching your mind to map the feeling in that area and cultivate feelings and flows of energy and tie it to breath if we want. But the key is not the technique. The key is the feelings that ensue and turning them into muscle memory, turning them into a mind-body connection. So that when I want to be curious, I can just turn on curiosity at will and look at Mark or Law and say, I'm just going to be curious for this person. Who are they? Because the energies flow through the body freely. Now, one more time, open the heart and ask yourself if you can feel everybody on this call, everybody in Mark's team. What is it like to feel the brotherhood of Mark? Just feel everybody. What is it like to welcome everybody in that brotherhood into your heart? See if you can get a warm, fuzzy response for all of it. The more you feel pleasure in relationship to something, the more you want to grow it. The more you want to learn about it, the more you get realizations about it, the more you understand it, the more it gets drawn to you. This is why men that truly, with their whole body, love women get a lot of women. Or love their wives to that level, build an amazing relationship. The tribe, yes. So, okay, that was just a little process we did there. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm kind of curious what people felt. I see some comments coming in the chat. Um, and just notice what you feel like. Okay, 3 new ones. I get what Brian is bringing. I've learned this in a different way. Martial arts. Yeah. All of this stuff is ultimately what happens with martial arts, yoga, Tai Chi, energy work is I think the original teacher gets these principles, starts to teach it from this feeling based perspective. And then inevitably students start to teach it from the head. They turn it into a bunch of systems and they forget about the feeling. Then a new teacher comes along years later that reinvents the feeling and starts the process again. And I think this cycles this way. My teacher, luckily, he focused 100% consciously on the feeling and said the technique isn't important. It's the feeling. You need technique. It is important. But if you make the technique the thing, you lose the feeling. It's actually a balance between the two and a constant changing of the technique itself and expanding it to create more space for more feeling. The bucket's got to get bigger and bigger. That's why you got to constantly throw it out and rebuild it. Many different feelings. Yeah, and we do a lot of walking meditations with this, moving meditations with this. We got endless stuff. So the whole idea here is I don't want you to rely on one specific system or technique to fluid feeling and constant involvement of the feeling so that you can start to invite people into that feeling. The family, the friends, your children, the people you love, the people you want to meet, that stuff. It's almost overwhelming. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That's really good. Did you want to say anything, Mark? Any questions? I mean,
no, I love this. I love this work. And like you said, it's through this exercise you just did, guys can get a taste of what it feels like to connect with those levels. And the thing is, it feels strange at first, like any new thing you do. But when you realize you can walk in this comfort and power, it's inviting to everyone around you. You'll just find people feel more comfortable around you. You'll find they naturally open up and volunteer, not only to help you more, but to want to connect with you. And so it's bigger than just the dating realm. It's just a part of life. But I like what you said. It's like creating a muscle memory. So there are times where initially you're going to have to be conscious to like go, okay, my brain's going like this. My head's filled with, okay, calm down. Feel the heart. Open. Okay, now go talk. And after a while, I mean, I think it would take a long while, 6 to 8 months a year before you're always walking in that space. But it's worth the effort because once you can walk in that place, not only is it addictive to the woman because she wants to know a man can be safe to welcome her and invite her in and give her a feeling of safety. And that feeling of safety isn't that you can pay her bills or those kind of things. It's a safety that like this man has me and I like being had by him. It's a bizarre concept. You can't talk about in the West. Month women here say, you want to have me? You want to own me? But I'm telling you, what I love about Ukrainian women is you say, you're mine. And that is one of the deepest resonating things you can say to Ukrainian woman. It's like, no, you are mine. Even to the extent of say, I own you. And that sounds bizarre.
No, it's 100% makes sense.
It's true.
But for the right man, they want to be owned. They want to be taken.
Yeah. And if they can feel that trust.
Yeah.
And feel that relaxing into him.
Yeah.
So this was beautiful. And I'm really grateful you guys came. There's so much more. And I do want to have Brian back. We'll do a follow-up on this to go more into the exercises because you just got like even the tip of the iceberg. The way this can actually touch you deeply in every area of your life to get you anchored. And the beautiful part, Brian and I've talked about before, is how when you can get in a flow state, all of a sudden things come to you. We don't realize how much of our life is about the desires we have in our heart, what we want to see happen. That's one part of it, but you also have to eliminate the resistance. and we create that in
The
many
desire
ways.
moves from desire to choice, to experience. Because
Yeah.
you desire the experience, but when the desire dissolves into choice and having, you start to have the experience.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to create that transition and make it effortless to create that transition when you choose to. And that's a lot of the work. So I use it. That's how I manifest this crazy life where I travel the world and all these crazy exotic places. I just keep doing
It's
it.
insane. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great life. It's
Mhm.
I forget the term they call for it, but it's an entrepreneur's lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I do want to cover because to me, obviously, I'm very excited to get to see you in just 3 or 4 weeks here, and so give the guys a little bit about what you're going to do in Croatia.
This is the first time I've done this, but I'm super excited. I got the idea from a trip I was on. We were doing the same thing, and I said, "This is amazing." We rented a yacht. It's a big yacht. It's 36 beds, 18 rooms, and it's fully everything. It's all inclusive. I mean, you come in from the airport, you get to the yacht. The food's there. It's a bonding experience being on the water in Croatia and Split, Croatia specifically area, which is gorgeous Mediterranean. Everything is beautiful. Everybody talks about how beautiful it is. And then we take the yacht different places every day, and we dock, and you guys get to have fun in those places. Whether it's snorkeling, wakeboarding, going on the beach, going into the small town. The only thing that we say you get on your own is lunch, because everybody's encouraged to get off the boat and play a little bit in the morning and to lunch. And then after lunch, and there's all kinds of things we can do. I'm pretty sure we'll have a wakeboard and a jet ski and all these water sports, as well as the different towns. Like, think of it going to Greece or something like that. On top of that, the other thing, and then by the way, the breakfast. So we have breakfast together. We have dinner together. We'll have yoga going on. We'll have breath work going on. And then we'll have a closing at night together where we do processes. And then in the afternoon and the evening, I'll be doing embodiment work with you, training you in the embodiment work. And I won't just be doing embodiment work where we'll be doing some of this where you learn to feel your own body, but we'll actually be getting you up and moving. I can make corrections. So I can help you to feel deeper into parts of your body that are shut off or numbed out. Some of you might have experienced that. I'll also be doing a little bit of filming and showing people on in the film in slow motion and high def where they're stuck, where they're not feeling, and I can break it down. And that sometimes a lot of times helps us to trigger and turn things on that were turned off. The hips on people are often very turned off. And when we start getting into the hips, there's a lot of emotion sometimes, and then it starts to feel, and then you start to feel the pleasure of the hips after they go through the pain of the hips, and it feels amazing. We'll have women there, and the women will be doing some gazing with some of the guys, and we'll be showing you the exchange of energy from woman to man and man to woman. When you drop into your masculine, how she opens into her feminine naturally, because she'll feel it. You'll feel those deep gazes, and you'll see it. And then we'll have we'll have guys that'll probably start out in their head, and the women will be like, I can't feel them. And then we'll work our way and show it. And we'll film some of that and show that too. I literally just, I adjust the week to you guys on a feeling based level to give you as much change as I can and to teach you to feel as much. And I give different techniques so you can go use them when you go explore the islands. When you go out in the morning, I'm going to go to the beach and ground on this energy the way Brian taught me, or I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take everything in with the vulnerability walk and feel this beautiful and inspiring environment and have it open me up more. And then we're going to go back and learn more, and we're going to apply that. We also have a hot sauna, a jacuzzi on the boat. Jacuzzi, I'm trying to try to turn it into an ice bath one day and have a hot sauna jacuzzi moment where we can go back and forth. So that'll be really cool. So it's just a really cool experience. And I'm super excited to put it on for you guys. And I'm super excited to have the women there, the yoga there, all the food, and we'll bond together, talk together, and play together. And I'll just show you, just to give you a glimpse of what it looks like. I have a picture of the boat here. Here is our boat. Can you see it?
Yeah, got it.
And there's a side view. It's either going to be white or blue. There's actually two yachts. They're very similar. And you can see the jacuzzi on top here, and the sauna somewhere up there too, from what I've been told. Here's a room. These can be split, or what I was told, into single beds or double beds. So here's another example of a room. They're very beautiful. There's one with double beds. I don't know how they do that with the bathroom door right there, so I'm trying to understand that. But here's a eating area where we all sit and eat, and we can do talks and have a good time. Another shot of the food and the bar. Here's the jacuzzi in the evening. This is, I don't have a picture of the sauna, but I was told there was the sauna. I promised there was a sauna. There they are having a little party. This is somebody getting off the boat and exploring one of the islands and some of the views you get there. Split's supposed to be super beautiful and clean. And another shot. And the area around Split, the different islands, places we'll go. Here's a dinner. And then imagine that mixed with all the embodiment work. It's just going to compound the embodiment work because the environment is right for developing feeling and surrender. Here's somebody enjoying a paddleboard. Here's somebody jumping off the boat. A little bit of like bridge jumping, boat jumping, and then that type of stuff. So, to me, this is a spectacular event to develop feeling at. I'm super excited to do it. If this is something you want to do, I can put you in touch with Landon. Or if you guys need to have another meeting with me, let me know or let Landon know. And that's pretty much it. And by the way, it's 4 nights, 5 days, all inclusive except for lunch. And that's pretty much it. And I'm giving you guys a special price, of course, for Mark's, because you're Mark's people and I love Mark. So I'm going to pull out this link. I'm going to share a link if you guys do want to learn more about it. Talk to Landon. We're very low pressure. Landon will just share with you, and we want people to be there that want to be there, and that's the main thing. This is Landon. He works for me. He'll be glad to answer any questions. If you do need to talk to me, I would be glad to talk to you. Just let Landon know, and that's it. And special price. The event normally would be $6,000 for everything included. That's all the trip, the yacht, all the activities except for lunch. But we're going to knock $1,000 off if you come from Mark's group, and so it'll be $5,000 for you guys. And the intention, the teachings can get pretty intense. There can be a lot of emotions, a lot of depth, a lot of bonding. So I'm also picky about who I let in. I want to create a really solid container. I want you guys to know that a lot of the people that are coming are my advanced students that can already hold a lot of space. I got a lot of advanced students coming that really understand. They've been developing this stuff. It's been changing their life so much they really wanted to go on the cruise. So they'll be holding space together. That'll cause a resonance or a compounding effect of growth. To get that many people together that are really dedicated to this type of growth. And you can hear all their stories too about growth. And then we'll have several women there too. We're mainly men because I teach mainly men, but the women will be coming to help polarize the men and to help you guys grow. That's my spiel.
Yeah, that's great. This is it's exciting for me because I know all of my brothers here. This is a lot of it's new information, but you guys can see how much this would help you in so many aspects of your life, and even come and do a program to find your Ukrainian wife, or maybe we'll go to Bucharest or Medellin too. I'm gonna let God guide, and I'm just gonna flow. So it's really.
Well, I'm doing a bunch of intensive work in this same area in Romania right after Croatia, with my advanced clients, where we're going to do real deep. And not everybody always needs all that, but some people really need to do the deep work. And the idea here is if you learn this stuff and then get in front of these Romanian women and Ukrainian women and Latin American women, they just fucking light up because they feel so much more than the American women even. American women, you still got to kind of open them more. But the Ukrainians, they just open right up to it, sink right in. And they're just like, a man that can feel me. And they fucking love it. I remember with Romanians, guys used to say, where they'd be gazing with them and doing the work and letting them in. And the guys would be like, I feel like she's burning into my soul. Guys would be like, I can feel her like inside my body feeling me. It's crazy. And that's how it's supposed to be, guys. We lost it.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thank you so much for making the time and just sharing this stuff to break guys free and create.
Thanks, Law.
Such beautiful things. Yeah, we get little thumbs up from Law, from Kevin, from all these guys. Really appreciate what you shared, and I do too, man. Just from the bottom of my heart.
Gladly.
we'll get back to you the next time we can connect and keep moving forward with our plans to being there. Chris says thank you. And
Oh, remember, guys, Mark's going to be there.
Yeah.
So he'll also be at the event if you guys want to
And
come hang
Lana.
out with Mark. So. And Lana, yeah. Mark and Lana. So it'll be a spectacular event. You know, Mark is my guest. So, and Lana is my guest. I love having the idea of having them both. So.
Well, we're going to do our part to pitch in, create space, help, do yoga classes, modeling, whatever we can do to in between, just enjoying and celebrating our relationship too. So love to support you, brother, in any way we can.
Mark is suffering and coming to Split to be on a yacht with Lana, his girlfriend. That's what happens as you get more in feeling. That people start. When I went to Egypt, and was on that ship in Egypt, the guy that was hosting that invited me for free because I did some of this work with him and his girlfriend in Japan. And he was so astounded. He wanted to do more of it. And he's like, "You want to come to the event for free? I just want you on my boat, man. I want you to." And then he had me teach. He had me, and that's what happens when you start letting people in. They start saying, "Hey, come here, come do this, come speak it." Your life just keeps growing. So,
and it's the beautiful part of life. You know, I wrote the book Legacy, and the second part of the formula is experiences. And I said the end of your days, honestly, one of the greatest things you're going to be talking about is the great stuff you did with people. And that really is part of your legacy. And this is that opportunity. And I think about people who save their money, they hoard it, and they're like, well, I don't know. It's like, what are you waiting for to live? This is part of life. This is why you work. This is why you save money. So you can have experiences like this so you'll remember them all your life. And just go, remember we did that? It was so cool. You know, and the creativity and the energy is just so beautiful over everything that's going to be there, making friends, doing crazy stuff together, and then really coming out alive and empowered. I can't think of anything better, you know, and for the same price we did our Quest tours, you know, for all those years, and we never raised our price, but we also never had it on a yacht. So I'm just saying it's a pretty sweet arrangement. And
one of the things that you and I talked about, and I can't do this until maybe late next year, mid next year, but because I'm building something. But if we did a Quest tour where you bring in women that want to be married, and then I do the model work with them and the energetic work with both the men and the women in the room. And then through the process of gazing, energetic work, touch work, and model work, you decide who you really like. And then you go on a date with that person.
That would be deep. That'd be heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of that. What's that thing? Those 39 questions you ask and you can't help but fall in love, you know, by going through that process. It's something similar. You've already felt part of them. And they felt part of you. So now when you're on a date, you're already like, oh, I'm in. Let's go. Let's have a good time. You know?
Yeah.
And Kevin's seconds that. Says that would be amazing.
Kevin.
So
yeah, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I get women that just kind of hound me after working for doing the model work. Like I have one in Romania right now. She's, when are you coming back? I want to do more of it. I want to do more. I want to understand this. I want to come travel and do this with you. And I'm like,
yeah.
And she's a real sweetheart too, and I get a lot of, like, 10 years. I have some women still wanting to come back and do more of it. 10 years later, after going there.
Well, that would definitely be something no one else in the world is doing. That is for sure.
Exactly.
It would be very cool. Next level. And the other thing about this I love is that people talk about where things are going to shift, what's going to change in the world of AI. What's never going to change is person's need for deep emotional connection with their humans. So if there's something to invest in for yourself that's going to be satisfying, this is definitely up there on the list.
Oh, we're heading down a slippery slope with guys that are going to start dating robots and women that are marrying ChatGPT because they don't know how to connect with humans anymore. You're going to be a fucking anomaly. Like, you know, it's like crazy.
Yeah. We're going to have to remind guys how to connect with humans again.
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT is just an echo chamber telling you what you want to hear. So, not care if you use it the wrong way and then you marry ChatGPT because it reinforces it. I mean, then you're going to have a rash of women getting divorced from their ChatGPT, you know, and then you're going to have robots. And then you're going to put your ChatGPT personality on the robot that you want to have that week. And just like porn, you switch it out to a new personality next week, and then eventually you realize they're all empty and they have no real feeling. It's all robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy
We're all
stuff,
about
guys.
reality.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
brothers. Thanks again. And we'll be back again soon with more from Brian and more on all of this. Let's see.
Awesome.
Western. Dwayne, Ukrainian girlfriend loves my sense of humor. Never had a woman connect with me in this way. With that said, after watching today, I have a question. Do I have to shave my head?
And you have to grow a
Brian and
beard
I
too.
joke about that. The balded bearded group, you know?
Yeah. Half of my staff, a good chunk of my staff is balded, bearded white men.
Yep. Yep.
And then I have some women too, but they haven't gone bald and bearded yet. So thank God.
No,
So
it's good.
yeah.
All right, brothers, have a
Okay.
great week. And be sure to click that link that Brian put in there to talk to Landon. If you can join us. And honestly, he didn't say this, but he's only opened 2 spots for us. So first come, first serve. And this will also go out as a webinar replay by Tuesday. So if it's all something you can possibly do, even put on a card, I want to get you in. At least
Yeah, and
have
I
the
won't be doing another
conversations.
one of these for a while because I'm going to be building all my online content stuff after this. And
Right. Right.
So good stuff.
Right on. All right. Have a great day. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care, guys. Bye.
Bye.